Yep.
All yours.
What is up, you guys? It is Parker and the rest of the Deco Exchange team here. Y'all, we've got Damon, we've got Kali, we've got Christine, and we've got Marissa. Y'all, they're all part of the Deco Exchange team. We are a creative business, just like a lot of you guys probably aspire to be. We started out selling wreaths. Now we still sell craft supplies and wreaths, and we teach other people how to make wreaths and sell online. So in about 6 or 7 years, we've grown, our hobby into a multi 7-figure business with the help of all these guys. And we just kind of wanted to share some of the knowledge that we had and kind of maybe lessen the fear that's around going online or selling online, or, maybe just add some more simplicity to getting your business started online. So that's what we're here for. Tonight, we're going to talk exclusively about Etsy. So Damon and Kali have a whole Swiss Army knife of a presentation to talk about Etsy. But I just want to let you guys know that this is a 3-part series. We're going to be here tonight, tomorrow night, and Friday night, all at 7 p.m. Central. So just make sure that you guys sign up for those events as well. And come back tomorrow and the next day, because tomorrow we're going to be talking all about social media. And then on Friday, we're going to be taking a Q&A panel for an hour. So last time we tried to get through as many questions as we could. It was kind of a lot. But we just want to get as much information out to you guys as we possibly can. So with that being said, Damon, if you want to kind of take over, I don't know, do you want to have everyone introduce themselves, or tonight Kali and Damon can introduce themselves, and then tomorrow Christine and Marissa will talk a little bit more. All right, well, I'll let you guys have that. I hope you guys enjoy the presentation for sure.
All right, hey y'all. So we have a quick slideshow to go through. I kept it kind of short and to the point. That way we could also try to squeeze in some Q&A at the end of tonight so that we don't run out of Q&A time on Friday. So let me share my screen. Hopefully we're sharing the presentation.
Yeah, we can see it.
All right, so Etsy tips by the Deco Exchange business coaches. So first, who we are. So me and Parker run Deco Exchange. We have over 100,000 sales on our e-commerce stores, with just under 16,000 of those sales being on Etsy alone. In the last 5 years, with a 5-star rating on Etsy. We teach creatives the art of wreath making and how to grow monetized communities online. Kali, you want to let us know a little bit about you?
Yes. Basically, I love to teach floral design. And of course, I started off, doing floral design. And part of my journey has been on Etsy. And now I can't believe I'm up to 28,000 something sales now. It's crazy. And I love to teach wreath making too, but I really am enjoying teaching others how to sell on Etsy.
And you were actually doing 6 figures on Etsy before you actually had a large social media following, right?
Oh yeah, I think I had like 1,400, 1,500 people on Facebook, and that was it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I wanted to follow Damon and learn more from his team originally. But yes, you can do Etsy with no social media. It's better with it, but it's an option.
Yep. So y'all, the first thing that I like to just do is knock out some of the Etsy myths, because you always hear the Etsy horror stories, but people leave out so much of the benefits of Etsy. So myth number 1, Etsy is expensive. Y'all, Etsy costs $0 monthly, 20 cents to list something new. Etsy is going to take 5% of the transaction fee, and then they charge 3% plus 25 cents for the payment processor. No matter where you go, you're going to pay for the payment processor. So Etsy makes their money from the 5% transaction fee and the 20 cents per listing. So total fees is 8% plus 45 cents. So if you sell a $120 item, one item, Etsy's going to keep $10. 5 items, $50. 10 items, $100. Y'all, in the big scheme of things, that is super cheap to sell online. Super cheap, especially with the built-in audience that Etsy has. Myth number 2, Etsy shuts down shops for no reason. So y'all, the reasons that you actually get shut down Etsy is if you're selling non-handmade items. So if you are buying a ton of stuff from China and trying to resell it, probably not going to work out. Copyright or trademark items. So if you're trying to sell Disney, Universal Studios, those types of things, they will shut down your shop. Bad customer service. So if you get too many 1-star reviews, you will get your shop shut down. If you're buying handmade items and trying to resell them, you can get your shop shut down. And then selling prohibited items like drugs, animals, weapons, hate items, pornography, things that promote or glorify violence. So part of those rumors are automated shutdowns. Y'all, that's not 100% truth. So there are some automated things that will flag your shop. And then if your shop gets flagged, it goes under a review process. Etsy doesn't give second chances. That is also not true. Etsy sends you several warning emails before they ever shut your shop down. So make sure that your contact information in your Etsy shop is correct. That way, if they contact you, you actually get the emails. The repeat offenders are the ones who typically get shut down without any further notifications. And then the whole fact that you can't get your shop back. So y'all, Etsy works hard to protect both the customer and sellers on their platforms, but you can file an appeal if your shop gets shut down and have one-on-one conversations with the Etsy legal and support teams to justify why your shop had those problems. So let's say you got a bunch of 1-star reviews because UPS right now is losing your packages. Y'all, you can prove to the customer or to Etsy that you shipped them, taking a little bit longer than expected. Someone asked if they can print these slides out. So we actually will have a place where you can go in and get the slides and print them. So we're gonna say that myth is busted as well, y'all. Clete, have you seen any other reason why someone's been shut down besides copyright, trademark, or bad customer service?
No, I've never seen a lot of this. And I think a lot of people make decisions based off of random things that happen. This is not the norm, guys. And so don't let that fear hold you back.
Right. So I will tell you guys, like we actually had a trademark violation in our Etsy shop when we first started doing t-shirts, because we had a t-shirt that the background was the Jurassic Park theme. It was like the Momosaurus Rex thing, but the background looked like Jurassic Park. And we got a notification from Etsy saying, hey, we removed that listing. Here's why, don't do it again. Myth number 3, Etsy owns your customers. So this one is true and false. They're Etsy's customers because you're using Etsy's platform. So your job is to try to convert those people from Etsy into your own customer list somewhere, whether it's joining your email list or if it's trying to get them to join a private Facebook group for your VIP customers, all those things. Getting your customers onto your email list is extremely important in case you ever decide to leave Etsy, or if Etsy ever decides that you need to leave. So that one we're going to call a fact. It's true, they're not your customers, but it's the same platform. Y'all, Facebook's the same way. If you grow an audience on Facebook, they're not yours, they're Facebook's. So your list and your website is really the only thing that you own. All right, so now that we looked over the top 3 myths that we see all the time, I just wanted to talk about how to get started on Etsy. And you can get this presentation and some detailed resources by texting us at 504-553-3451 and just use the keyword resources. It'll send you a link that you can fill out some information, and they'll send you a whole Google file with step-by-step instructions, videos, all the things. We didn't want to spend tonight building an Etsy shop. So I did include instructions and videos step by step on how to do that at the link.
So Damon, they just text you the word resources to that
Yep.
number.
That's right.
Got it.
And then it'll respond with a link for them to click on to get all of the data. All right, so what do you need to actually open your shop? Y'all, all that you need is a business name. If you don't have one, make it easy. Your last name and what you do. So like Khalid's business name is Khalid's.
That's right.
I named my business before I knew any better. But if I had to start today, it would be like Oats Home Decor. And probably not even Oats because of the way that you could spell it wrong. Like Damon's Home Decor. Like super simple, straight to the point. Don't stress about it, y'all. You're the only person who cares about your business name. Unfortunately. Like you don't go to Walmart to buy walls.
That's right.
Like it's just, don't overcomplicate that one, y'all. You will need your banking information. So you have to fill that out in order to pay the 20 cents for the listing fee and how Etsy's gonna pay you when you make your first sale. You will need one product to get started. So you'll need a photo and some information about your product. Y'all, I will tell y'all, like my first product probably said example product and ABCD, a whole bunch of finger taps in the description just to get it through and to get it up there and done. And then once I was finished setting up my Etsy shop, I went back to that listing and made it a real listing. Like it doesn't have to be perfect to get started. And you'll need 20 cents to pay for that first listing to hit Etsy. What you don't need is a tax ID, a business license, or 50 listings. So someone said, I make sports teams wreaths and I use ribbon. Yeah. So when you buy that ribbon, on the spool, it actually says, for personal use only, can't be resold. So don't do that, friends. That will get your shop shut down and you potentially sued. So we have one person in our community that was actually sued by, who owns Grinch, Disney?
I think so.
I don't know who owns Grinch.
I just want to,
Grinch.
I want to add into here really quick so there's no confusion. This isn't an Etsy thing. This is a business thing, right? Copying trademark stuff is illegal, period. Etsy will shut you down because Etsy doesn't want to get sued, but you can get sued for this no matter where you do it.
Yeah.
It's not okay anywhere.
Yeah, so any major platform will shut you down for copyright and trademark violations because, as we mentioned earlier, it's their platform. So whenever you try to sell on Etsy and you're trying to sell Mickey Mouse items, Etsy is actually liable for your shop. So to protect Etsy, Etsy has to shut your shop down. If not, Disney could go after Etsy for allowing you to sell there and you for selling it. Y'all, and they also go after your customer list because they want to know who purchased it so that they can see what they're doing with it. So they go after you, they go after the company you sold it at, and they go after the people who bought it. Don't get your, that is not what your customer wants to hear, is that an attorney is looking for them because they purchased your product. Avoid that one. So Etsy shop branding, try to keep it consistent across the internet. Y'all, whenever someone lands on your Etsy shop, they want to feel like they've seen it before. So if your Facebook page, your Etsy shop, your Instagram, your Pinterest account should all be similar. Similar cover photos, similar schemes, similar, Christine's our branding expert, similar, all the things, right? So if you have the same font on everything, the same colors, all those things that make them feel like it's one store, even though they're shopping in multiple places. What I will tell you is don't stop everything you're doing just because your Etsy shop name is taken. y'all, you can add ink or co or something behind it to move forward. So if you already have a social media platform and you're just now deciding to move to Etsy, go ahead and just change it a little bit. Number one tip, don't spell it wrong. Don't make it funny. Like, don't do any of the cute stuff, right? So if you're walking past someone in Hobby Lobby and they're looking at wreaths and you give them an advice or tip on what to hang or what to purchase, and they ask what you do, and you tell them that your name, like you tell them you are Cats Creations, but you spelled cats with a K, you put a Z and the S, and you spelled creations with a K and a Z, do you think that customer is ever going to find you? Or are they literally going to go in there and type in Cats Creations spelled correctly looking for your product? So try to keep the spelling very clean and very precise. That's why I mentioned a while ago, I probably would not use my last name in a business name because of how you spell oats, right? So y'all, whenever I give my email address in public to a cashier, every time it's OATS. Even if I say it, like literally yesterday, I went to Big Lots, and when I gave them my email address, I said it out loud and he typed it in wrong. And I didn't correct him because I don't really want the spam mail anyway, but I took the $10 off. So your shop icon should be 500 pixels by 500 pixels and make it clean and precise to what you sell. So feature your branding or feature a product that you sell a lot of. Your shop banner can be two sizes really, 33 by 60 or 840. Sorry, 3360 by 840 or 1200 by 160. So for me, the whole purpose of the shop banner is to highlight your best items, have minimal text, and drive people to where you want them. So if you do that, why would you ever use the mini banner? Y'all, the mini banner is like a little strip across the top of the page that has a little bit of content. So I always recommend using the full shop banner where you can have good photos that really highlight what you're doing. And then share your shop's story. So in the about section, there's a whole question that says to talk about you, show your process, show your setup. Y'all, people go buy handmade products because they know they're made from a person. So make sure that you show them the person making their products. Can you paint a sports logo? No. Sorry, I see there's like 30 questions, so I'm just scrolling real fast to see why.
And just really quick, I'm answering questions at like if I feel like it's a good discussion, I'm going to leave it up and we're going to do Q&A at the end. Okay. So people are asking about links, the phone numbers. I'm answering all of those, but I'm leaving stuff up for a longer discussion later.
Yeah, so I'm just going to do a quick scroll to see if any of the questions are relevant to this slide so that we don't mix the data here. So why don't we need a tax ID or business license? You don't have to have a tax ID to start your Etsy shop. I would recommend that you do it and get your business going correctly. But so many times I hear I can't move forward because I don't have a business license, or I can't move forward because I don't have a tax ID. And the truth is, Etsy doesn't require you to have either one of those items. Like all you have to have is a social security number and they'll tax you for it instead of your business. How do businesses sell ribbon and other items that aren't handmade? Because you can sell craft supplies on Etsy. I think did we already cover the 3 things that you can sell?
We did.
Craft supplies you can sell. What if you make your own ribbon, like ironing on designs ribbon, as long as they're not trademarked? So if I speak about the wired ribbon, Etsy could shut down my site. I'm not sure what that means.
I think that was in reference to this, to the off-free ribbon that was branded, potentially. I'm not sure.
I have a pet resort, bakery, and shop. Do I keep the name of my pet resort? I would. How do you make all the Etsy shop icons, banners, and stories? Regina, all of that is in the detailed training at the link.
So y'all, just to kind of go into that a little bit, we had to make a decision on what we wanted to teach you guys in an hour, right? So how to set up a shop is the same thing no matter what. It can be recorded, and there's not really much question or confusion around it. It's like step 1, click here, step 2, do this, step 3, do that. So we have that recorded and you can get access to it. You just need a text to set the number. But this stuff is more of a discussion. It's more of an educational experience than click here, click here, click here, in our opinion. So that's why we made the decision to teach about the process and the help me out here. What's the word I'm looking for? Strategy behind Etsy, and not just how to set up your shop, because we have a video, it's already there. We wanted to talk about actually being on Etsy.
Yeah. So Emily says her 11-year-old daughter has started her own business. Would I need to use my social media instead of hers? I think you have to be 18 to sell on Etsy. So I would definitely not use hers. Lots of trademark stuff. I think we covered that. All right, so what can I sell? Oh, look, next slide. What can I sell? Handmade products, vintage products. So anything over 20 years old. Y'all were all vintage.
Yes.
For vintage. And craft supplies. So if it is, all right, so I couldn't sell this ink pen, but I could sell the parts to make the ink pen, right? So you can supply, even like bakeries are on there selling the cupcake tins and stuff like that. So anything to make a product, you can sell it. It goes into a whole different section of Etsy. And whenever you fill out the listing, it'll direct it there. So whenever it says, what are you selling? You have to tell them a supply or a finished product. All right, so how to take product photos, y'all. So your product photos are gonna be one of the #1 things that either sell your product or not. So the quality of photos is 90% of what Etsy shoppers use to influence their purchase. The better it looks, the more they buy. So photos should grab their attention, display the product clearly, communicate size, color, and quality, lets them know the purpose, and helps them visualize it in their home or how they use it. So the 7 types of photos that Etsy recommends is the studio shot. Y'all, think of studio shot like shopping on Amazon, right? Everything has that nice, clean background. So Etsy actually recommends this as your thumbnail photo, so that whenever people are on the Etsy home screen and they're quickly scrolling, they're not distracted by all the other stuff in the photos. So they also recommend the lifestyle shot. So if you sell a wreath, have it hanging on your door so people can see how to use it. Hang it over the fireplace. The scale shot lets customers easily see the size. The detail shot, so close up of the bow on it or a flower on it, something that really stands out. A group shot, so do you sell more than one item that coordinate with this product? So that allows them to see what else you have that it offers. And it also allows them to say, buy more stuff in your store. The packaging shot, so what is it gonna look like when they get it? And a process shot of the process of you making it. We mainly do studio, lifestyle, scale, and detail. Because the lifestyle and the scale shot are usually about the same for me. I hang them on a normal size door and people can see how big it looks on the door.
lately I've been using a lot of shots with my hand actually holding the wreath
Yeah.
or the product, and that has actually converted really well. So you never know. All
Right.
those are a good option.
That would kind of give it a scale shot too.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So y'all, in those step-by-step instructions, I take all of my photos with my iPhone. So I have detailed videos on how I use my iPhone, how I edit it, how I do all those things. And it's at that same phone number, just text resources, and we'll send you that link. All right, so how do products get seen on Etsy? And that comes down to your SEO. So that's your search engine optimization and your photos. Outside of that, your own social media traffic where you push people from. So think of it as whenever you go on Amazon or Google and you type in a search word, that's the SEO. And then whenever you quickly scroll through all the stuff, what you see is the photo. So where does SEO matter? All right, so SEO matters in your titles. Make sure it's a clear description of what the customer would search for. Y'all, I will tell you that Etsy is trying to push for short titles. I have personally tested short and long, and my long titles are still getting the best results. But what they're wanting for that for is because they're pushing Google Ads. So the first 60 or so characters of your title is what shows up on Google. So what I do is I make sure that first little section is going to make Etsy happy with a nice clean description. And then I keyword stuff behind that. Clee, what are you seeing that's working well for you on titles?
The same thing you're saying, and really you need to put your very, very best words at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it converts better that way.
All right, so the next part is your tags. So y'all, that's the 13 tags that Etsy allows you to describe your product. What's important here is don't list it as a maker. So let's say we're listing a wreath. Y'all, a customer does not know the types of mesh or the functionality of the mesh or the functionality of the method that you use to make a wreath. They're going to be looking for a Halloween wreath with pumpkins. They're not going to put in a Halloween wreath on a wire frame with 10-inch poofs and a ruffle. They don't know any of that stuff. So make sure that your SEO is very detailed on what an end user would search for and not you. Attributes. These are built-in SEO tags to Etsy. So whenever you're filling out your listing, there's several drop-downs, and Etsy already has all of these SEO items picked out perfectly. And then image names. So if you upload an image directly from your phone, it's going to have like IMG underscore and some numbers. Y'all, those are not searchable on Google. But if you were to rename that photo, you can even do it when it's on Etsy. Just go click on your listing, double click on the photo, and there'll be a little place to edit the name of your photo and change that name to what the product is. That way, if someone goes to Google, types in Christmas wreath, and then hits the images option, your product will actually show up as a searchable picture. So what to avoid? Tagging items incorrectly. If you know your item isn't Halloween related, but Halloween is a high search term right now, it's gonna actually hurt your shop because you're gonna be showing up in the search, and then you're not gonna be getting the clicks or the purchases. So Etsy's gonna say, this must be a really bad product. Let me stop showing their shop to people. Y'all, that same thing happens whenever you're in those really large public groups and say, hey, why am I not selling? And then you post your shop and all of those people go click on your shop and don't buy something. You get a whole bunch of clicks, no purchases. So Etsy says, there's something wrong with this product. We're going to stop wasting our real estate and stop showing it to people. Clete, anything to add on SEO?
No, I think you covered it really well. It's really, really important, guys. You can't pass over this part. This is the most important part besides your images.
Christine?
I was just about to say something. As far as SEO, getting into the habit at this level when you're first starting out will make a huge difference in the long run of your business. Like SEO in general is a long game. And if you get into the habit and learn how to search those keywords and where to place them and frame your product just right, then it can only help you in the long run to build authority as far as your business, knowing exactly like everything about that product.
So Christine, while you're talking, one of the things that I see all the time is, I can't sell on Etsy, so I'm going to create my own website.
Yeah. Think of it like if you had like you're sitting in an auditorium and it had a whole bunch of people, and let's say nobody clapped. It's not going to be any different if you walk into an empty theater. You're still going to hear nobody clap, and that's your website, because you don't have the audience all on your own. Your Etsy's already has that set up for you. So you just need to tweak your SEO and these other things that Damon and Clea are talking about, because that's what will help bring that audience.
Y'all, so what I always tell people is think of it the other way. So if your Etsy shop is booming and you can't keep up with it, that's whenever you want to transition to your own platform, because that's whenever you know that people are searching for you. Your SEO is on point. You're driving your own traffic. And that's whenever you can start making that shift to bring people over here. If your Etsy shop is dead and your SEO sucks there and your picture sucks there, it's going to suck on your website too, friends. That sounds really terrible and mean, but it's the truth. Marissa, are you still here? I don't see her in about 5. Marissa, do you have any SEO tips? So Marissa, y'all, used to sell stickers and paper stuff, and now she sells tumblers on Etsy.
Same thing, the image, changing the image name. I saw some people saying like, oh, on every image, that really does make a difference. And utilizing all of your tags. One of my favorite things to do is actually look up how people might spell things wrong and use those in my tags. So, if they spell wreath wrong, or maybe they spell ribbon with 1 B. So I kind of will do some research on that and see how many people are searching the wrong spelling. And if I think it's worth it, I'll try it out and I'll put that in my tags. And usually that has a good boost, I guess.
Yeah. So for a wreath seller, you guys would be surprised at how many people go type in Christmas wreath, REEF, like under the sea. Lots. The very basic misspellings like plurals and stuff like that, Etsy kind of takes account of. But whenever someone completely just spells it wrong, you'll want to capture some of that in your SEO. All right, so listing descriptions matter. So the whole purpose of your description is to answer all of your buyers' questions. So why do they need it? What is it? How can they use it? How will buying this product make the customer's life easy and make them feel good about it? Y'all, if you can convince the customers that they want it, that they need it, and that it's a guilt-free decision, they'll buy it. So I actually have a listing template that I use on all of my listings that is available in the resources that we have out there for y'all. Khalid, do you have any big tips of must-have things in your description?
This pretty much covers it. I will say the if you get a lot of questions sent to you in messages, if you can cover those answers at the top of your description, that'll really cut down on you having to answer people's questions a lot. And for a lot of things, it's like the sizing. Even though you put the sizing in the listing now, if you could still write it out in there, it can help answer some questions for people. So if you're getting like, what kind of fabric is this made? They may not know where to find that in the listing. So include those types of things in the description as well.
All right, so pricing for e-commerce. Everyone always asks for a rule of thumb. And the real truth is that you have to know a few things, right? So you need to know how much it costs you to make your product. You need to know how much it costs you to sell your product. So that 8% fee from Etsy, right? You have to know how much you want to make from your product for profit. You have to know how much you want to reinvest in your business. So no one can really price your product without knowing those items above. For me and my pricing, my rule of thumb is materials times 3, if it makes sense. So if I buy everything on clearance and it costs me $12 to make a wreath, but I can still get $150 for it, I'm still gonna price it at the $150 mark. Like, I'm not gonna have that one wreath in my Etsy store that looks $40 or priced at $40, but looks like everything else, because that's going to cause buyer confusion, right? So if you walk into a jewelry store and there's 3 diamond rings in a row, and one is $50, one is $5,000, and one is $3,000, are you going to be like, well, why is that one 50? And start questioning the whole process, and if you can trust the store, right? You're going to want certified diamonds. You're going to want them to check the diamond. You're going to want to do all these things before you make that purchase. Whereas if you walked in, they all look similar and they're all priced similar. It just makes sense in your head, and it's easier to make that purchase. So if you price them too low, customers think it's a cheap quality. If you price them too high, you may price yourself out of the market, especially if they aren't your customer already. So for me, I like to do some really high items, some average, and then some at my price mark of what I want to make off my product. Y'all, there was actually a study done by Etsy that showed that most of their customers shop price high to low. So when they do their search, they automatically change the filter to highest price to lowest price. So if they do that, I want to show up on the high page for that Christmas tree. The customer may not buy that one, but if I can get them to click there and go to my shop, maybe they'll see something else in the Christmas section that they need. And I will also say, everyone that I've ever thought no one's ever going to buy this at that price, they all sell. Clee, any advice on pricing?
Oh, no, I agree with all of that. And I think most new sellers have a tendency to underprice their product big time. And then they get concerned, why am I not making sales? And it's really not because of their product, it's because of their pricing, because of the point you put in there that if it's too low, they think the end user think it's going to fall apart or something like that. And hey, you want to show up at the top when they do that search. So think about that on your pricing. Research the other products in your price point so you know.
And y'all also think about, you may get a slew of sales, but if that customer is paying $60 today for an item, and now all of a sudden you want 85 for it, but the overall aesthetic of the item didn't change, how are they going to justify that in their head? So it's going to take you 3 or 4 times as long to start getting the prices that you want, because you're going to gain a whole customer base that wants your product for half the price. And as your prices increase, you're going to lose that customer base and have to find a whole new one. So don't make it harder on yourselves, y'all. All right. So a little bit of strategy. So Etsy wants to know that you're active on their platform. So always update your listings, renew some if you have to, add new things daily or weekly. Make sure you're sharing your listings on Pinterest, but only if you've made sure the photos are good and the SEO is good. Y'all, if you take a bad listing on Etsy and you share it over to Pinterest, where people shop with their eyes and with keywords, how is it going to get found? So if you're sharing junk from one place to another, it's still going to be junk. Make sure that you have a really good photo SEO description and then share it across the board. On social media, okay, listen, don't share directly from Etsy to Facebook or to Instagram. In those cases, you're going to want to upload the photo directly to Facebook or directly to Instagram, and then you're going to want to tell people to click on your Shop Now button or go to your profile. Both of those platforms are owned by Facebook, and Facebook is like the jealous partner that you never want to deal with. Like, if they even think you're looking at someone else, they get real bitter. It's true. So Facebook hates whenever you take people off of Facebook. So if you post on Facebook a link to your Etsy shop and you say, just listed this item now, here's a link, Facebook's not going to show that to anyone. Because Facebook knows that that post is going to take someone away from Facebook. So if you upload that photo organically to Facebook, write out your post, and in the post, tell people that it's available in your shop, or to message you, or any of those things, more people will see it. The more people that see it, the more people that'll comment on it. I just noticed I have a blue fingernail. I probably didn't tell y'all why. Y'all, this is 1 out of 5 kids suffer from domestic violence, and this is one of the methods right now to bring awareness to the situation. Conversation starter. Number 3, just try to keep them in the Facebook world to keep Facebook happy. Let customers know that Etsy now has a payment plan. So y'all, if your product is more than $50 at checkout, they can choose Klarna. So Etsy pays you 100% upfront and then divvies up their payments over 4 payments. So they pay a quarter upfront and then they pay 25% every 2 weeks. So that's huge and that's new. So many people try to create listings that divvy out the process. Don't do that anymore. Just let Etsy do its thing. Klarna takes 100% of the responsibility. So if the customer stops paying, they have to chase that down, not you. If you need more help, you can text us. Here's the phone number. And where you can find me and Kali online. So I am Deco Exchange across all social media, and Kali is Kali's across all social media. And then we're gonna try to, y'all, there is 84 questions in Q&A. So we are gonna try to get through as many of those as we can and see what happens. So let me scroll.
You want me just to rapid fire read them?
No, because a lot of them are the same questions over and over.
Okay.
So how do you incorporate shipping into your price? I don't. I use a flat rate shipping fee, and my customers pay for that shipping outside of Etsy. We tested including the price or keeping it out of the price. And for me, more of my customers purchased and I took it out. Kali, how are you doing it right now?
I just take my average shipping for my average sale on Etsy. I do participate in the free shipping over $35 that they suggest. So I have, since I've shipped thousands and thousands of things, I've got a great average. And then we just pick an amount to add to each product, a percentage.
Stephanie says, if I purchase an item like a jam and have a private label, can I not sell it on Etsy? So the way that I read it was no, but I would probably go to the Etsy terms of service and read into the food portion and see what you read into that one.
She might take a look at it because I don't know about how that works with production partners.
Right.
If she actually designed the, not designed, but created the recipe or something like that, she might be able to.
Yeah, so if it's your design, but someone else produces it for you, you can list them as a production partner. But if it's truly a white label company, the answer is probably no. If I do resin keychains and I bought the mold off of Etsy, can I sell the product I made with the mold? As long as the mold doesn't break trademark or copyright violation. So just because you purchased it doesn't give you the ability to reuse it all the time. Does having a business name cost? If you want to register your business name, it does. But if you just go to Etsy and sign up and you just choose a business name, it does not. So for some reason, people are texting 504533 and it's 553, y'all. Can food products be sold? So I did read that you can buy food products, but you have to make sure that you are covered on the liability in your personal area to sell products from your home. So some states require you to have an official registered license for your kitchen to sell any products that you cook. Can you try and sell something from your personal Facebook to see if we will sell before putting things on Etsy? Joyce, absolutely. You can sell whatever you want on your personal Facebook page. I personally would list them on Etsy and sell them that way. Even if you're selling, nope, I lied. You cannot sell from your personal Facebook page. That's against Facebook's terms of service. I missed that word the first time I read it. So you would have to create a business Facebook account. You cannot do business on your personal Facebook. People sell trademark all the time. How do they work around it? People also drive over the speed limit all the time. And what happens when they finally get caught? Do you need a tax ID for each business that I have? You can do an overarching LLC and then do DBAs to that LLC. How do you handle harassing or threatening Etsy customers? So you actually just report those to Etsy and Etsy will take care of it. I've only had that happen twice. Once is recently because their package is lost by FedEx. Clea, do you have any advice on threatening Etsy customers?
You can actually, for example, if you've refunded someone, you're done dealing with them, they're like a problem customer, you can actually, there's a way to block them.
Yep.
So you can go through that process.
And then I know Marissa actually recently had a customer who filed a 1-star complaint because they didn't have their product yet. And it was because the customer had some issues with their shipping address. And Marissa actually fought that with Etsy and Etsy sided with her because she followed what was in the Etsy purchase. So y'all, if a customer ever says, I put in the wrong address, change it, you could actually be opening yourself up to an Etsy violation for not shipping the product to where it said in the listing. So just be careful with that one.
Can y'all address taxes? A lot of people are asking about taxes, specifically sales tax on the product you're selling on Etsy.
No. And here's why. Taxes are different based off your county, your parish, your state. So there are some places that Etsy has to automatically collect that tax, and there are some places that Etsy doesn't. So for like Louisiana, if I sell a product to someone in Louisiana, I have to charge them tax. Etsy does not automatically do that. If you were doing into Washington, Etsy automatically collects the Washington taxes and pays that for me. So it's not a black and white answer on taxes, unfortunately. And I don't want to get sued because I gave someone bad tax advice. I don't look good in orange, people. Black's my color. Mary Grinchmas. It says Grinch. I wouldn't use it. Okay, so Dina. I believe I saw Dina, or maybe it wasn't Dina, but multiple people asked about the fabric. Y'all, go look at that fabric that you purchased. On the very edge of that fabric, it probably says not for commercial use. You don't have permission to resell it, no matter what you're making. How do you determine that someone else has not legally used the name of your business? So you would go to your Department of State and you would search for that business name. As long as it's not trademarked or it's not used in your state, you can reuse it. Keeling Creations. I would not use that Creations just because you spelled it with a K and it's going to be hard for people to remember. So can we do Sport Team Reese if the item sign has a logo for the team? Is it copyright or trademarked? That's going to be my answer every time.
So like just to add something really quick about that, if you're wondering if something is trademarked or not, assume it is and don't use it. So things that are household names, things that are characters, anything that someone else created, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, the name Deco Exchange, all of these things have what's called trademark. That means that someone else owns that intellectual property. Okay. So if you're thinking about making something, one thing I see all the time is the Will Ferrell face with a wreath poofs around it. Is that your design? No, that's someone's name. That's someone's image that you're selling. That's not yours. So if you're wondering if something is trademarked and there's gray area, lean to the side of it's trademarked and don't do it. That's my suggestion to you guys.
Yeah. So someone actually said, I've only sold one wreath on Etsy in a year. Any advice? And I actually pulled up their Etsy shop, and this may be like, let's just look at it real quick. Can you guys see that on my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So number one, there's no shop banner. There's no cover photo. Your photos are not that good. There is only 9 listings, and all of your titles don't really describe what people would look for, right? So basically everything that we said in this presentation, you didn't do yet. So I would highly suggest that you go back through all the advice that we gave here and update your whole shop. Even just clicking into it, you don't have any tags. So basically, people can't find you because you don't have enough ways for people to find you. Y'all, and actually in my business coaching group, I actually hate to do shop reviews because everyone always has the same issue. That's why we kind of put together a checklist. It's actually one of those resources that you guys can audit your own shop and see exactly what is going on with your shop and why you're not making sales.
So you guys, just to reiterate, text that phone number because we literally have a step-by-step checklist of, do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? The other thing that's really, really important is time. Do you guys want to talk for a minute? I mean, it's 7:55, but this stuff doesn't happen overnight. If you guys make all these changes today, don't expect, a light switch to go off tomorrow.
Yep.
So
it takes
Christine might have some stuff to add too, but it takes time for the system and the computers to learn the things that you're doing, you guys.
So it takes about 2 weeks for Etsy to really pick up your changes from, Clay, do you know if that's still accurate? I know like they immediately start going into the changes, but for me, I've always seen the best results like after about 2 weeks.
Yeah, even maybe a little bit longer sometimes if you make a lot of changes. So it just depends.
And then as far as sharing that stuff out to Pinterest, y'all, you should be 3 months ahead of schedule. So we started doing Christmas stuff back in July and August so that it would be good and ready and have the authority behind it to be ready now. So I think Christine will probably touch on some of that tomorrow.
But it still applies to Etsy as well.
Yeah. Someone says, I have the newer light kit and one ring light. All right, so y'all, ring lights are for you. Ring lights are not product photos. So for products, you need to have multiple lights with the boxes and the white screens to get that real clean, filtered look. Does that mean every photo? Yep. Where is Damon from? Louisiana. I like the word y'all. Does Etsy charge you for any type of advertising? So you have, if you've had less than 10,000 sales, you can opt in or out of Etsy's advertising. But I wouldn't opt out of it, y'all. Literally last month, we did almost 30,000 in sales on Etsy, and only $500 of that was from Etsy ads. So why wouldn't I want to let Etsy do whatever it's doing in the background? Karen says, I've noticed that some people list their items using Deco Exchange. So if they are a member of our membership, they do have a license agreement to use Deco Exchange, which is trademarked, because we are not in the business of selling wreaths anymore. And we used to sell 900 to 1,000 wreaths every year. And our customers are still out there looking for Deco Exchange wreaths. So we gave our students permission in their membership fee to use Deco Exchange as a search term for completed wreaths. Katrina is asking about the fabric. Yeah, read that fabric and see what it says. If you make handmade jewelry, how do you distinguish yourself from other jewelry makers using SEO? Number one, I would tell you to put on some blinders and not worry about what everyone else is doing and worry about your own business. If your photos are eye-catchy, if you are putting in the exact words that your customers are searching for, they're going to get seen. Clea, anything to add on that one?
Oh, I reiterate, just we say blinders and stay in your own lane all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
I'll add one more thing too, just because it's really important to me. Like, if you have time to worry about someone else's business, you're not working hard enough on your own business. Like, just straight up. You know, Damon and all of us here work our tails off, and we hardly have time. Like, we caught up, 5 minutes before this call, and we're trying to like figure out what everyone had going on in their life because we're so busy doing our own thing. Like, you guys need to focus on you and your business and not what everyone else is doing.
Yeah. So an example of a multi-word tag. So in the Etsy tag, you have so many characters that you can use. So I would never want to just put in Christmas and press enter and use that as a tag, right? So I would want to put in red Christmas wreath. I would want to put in red Christmas bow. So multi-word, long tail keywords. My fear is that the demand may be too big for me to fill orders. They can only buy as many as you list. You're good.
Yeah, and you can always, if things get out of control, you just take it down for a little bit. It doesn't go anywhere. You just make it unavailable.
Where can I search those wrong spelled words? So y'all, the easiest thing to do is to actually go to Etsy and just start typing in items, right? So if you typed in Christmas, you can see the most searched items after Christmas, right? So Christmas wreath, type in Christmas wreath. These are the most searched items after Christmas wreath. So these are items that people are going to Etsy and searching for and getting results.
And you see right there, like the Christmas wreaths spelled the wrong way is higher than the right way. So don't be afraid to spell stuff wrong.
Yeah. Y'all, but it's not going to be there. Like, okay, a lot of artists like to give their stuff a cute name. Like, let's say we made a wreath and it had this cute little elf on it, and you wanted to name that elf like Little Johnny's Christmas charm, right? Like no one's gonna know what the heck that is. They're just not. But if we had an elf wreath, we could put in Christmas. You gotta spell Christmas, right? Wreath and elf, right? I could put in whimsical Christmas wreath. So think about how the customer is going to search for it and not those cute little names that you have. Y'all, we are, our hour is up. So let's scroll real quick and see. Yeah, so I don't know how quick. It's usually like 24 hours after. This replay is usually on the Michael's blog. Do you remember, Parker? Or Michelle?
Last time it was the next day,
Yeah.
usually in the afternoon.
A lot of people were asking about the replay.
Yep.
How many items did you have prior to Etsy? One. That's it. You only need one to get started. Now, here's why people tell you to have more than one listing is because the more photos and the more tags, the more chance that you're going to have to get seen, right? So if you only have one Christmas product and it's Christmas season, you only have one chance to be found on Etsy. So a lot of people say, oh, 50 is that magic number. Well, think about it this way. There's 40,000 Christmas wreaths on Etsy and you have one. So there's 13 search tags. So 40,000 times 13 is how many different ways your item can be found. Do you really want to have 13 of those 500,000 tags? So the more listings that you can have, the better chance that you have to get done. How do you share on Pinterest? Christine, do you cover that tomorrow?
Yeah, we can cover that, absolutely.
Just how to share from Etsy to Pinterest?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you guys, we're a little bit over time. Dee, did you have any last minute things?
I'm just scrolling real quick to see if there's anything that we haven't covered. And it looks like we covered almost everything. I'm good.
All right, one last time, if you want to show the text number. You guys, we do have a bunch of resources that we kind of had put together for you guys. The number's 504-553-3451. If you text the word resources, we have a Etsy checklist, Pinterest checklist, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, as well as step-by-steps on how to set up an Etsy shop. I hope that we convinced you guys that Etsy is a good place to be. Go ahead, Dee.
Don't forget, on Friday, the whole hour is Q&A. So if you had a hot question that we didn't cover, make sure you come back on Friday and get in like on the first questions that get asked.
Yeah, so you guys, I don't know if you could have saw on our end, but it started out with around 50 questions. And then as we got into the progression of the presentation, there was like 200 or so. But yeah, we're dedicating the whole hour Friday at 7 p.m. Central to answering questions. It'll strictly be a Q&A, so show up and bring questions. Tomorrow, the same team will be back 7 p.m. Central. We'll be talking all about social media. So we're going to tie this together, you guys. Now that you have an Etsy shop or now that you have products to sell, how do you actually promote that outside of Etsy to get more people to go and visit your shop? So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for being here, asking questions, participating, wanting to learn. Thanks to all the coaches for being here. Kali, Christine, Marissa, Damon. Thank you to Michaels. Thank you, Jimena. Gosh, I hope I said your name right. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Any last words, y'all? No?
Oh, don't be scared. It's not that bad. Get out there, do it. You can always fix it later. Just get started.
Yep. All right, you guys. Y'all have a good night. Bye, y'all.